All right, so get this, you guys. We're going deep on Area15 today.
Oh, fun.
And you really went all out, sent us like a ton of stuff, marketing materials, reviews, even event listings.
Yeah.
Clearly, you're not messing around. You really want to understand this whole thing.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really interesting how Area15 has gotten like so much attention.
Right.
It's not just another like stop on the strip. It's like making noise way beyond Vegas.
Okay, so let's break this down. They're calling it an immersive entertainment district, but
Right.
like, what does that even mean?
Right.
One of the articles you sent actually said, imagine an urban Burning Man mall.
Wow.
I mean, talk about an image that sticks with you.
Yeah, no kidding. And I think that comparison really kind of gets at what makes Area 15 stand out. It's not just about the individual attractions or whatever. It's really about creating a whole world, a vibe, an experience that like totally absorbs you from the second you step inside.
I feel like you hit on something super important there. This whole idea of experience, right?
Right.
I mean, I'm looking at all this stuff you sent, and the word immersive, like, pops up everywhere.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely a thing we're seeing across the whole entertainment industry,
Mm.
but it seems like AREA 15 is really pushing the boundaries, you know?
Mhm.
Think like 360-degree projection domes where the visuals react to the music or like interactive installations that really blur the lines between art and reality. It's not passive entertainment. It's about being like fully present and engaged and really part of the show.
So basically, you're not just seeing cool stuff, you're feeling it, you're living it.
Exactly.
Now, you specifically mentioned the experience pass in your notes.
Yeah.
Can you break down what that is for us?
Yeah. So the experience pass is basically your ticket to like a curated selection of all the stuff Area 15 has to offer.
Uh-huh.
It's actually pretty smart because it caters to, different levels of commitment. They have different tiers.
Hmm.
The basic one gives you a taste of the highlights and starts around $50.
Okay.
And then the higher tiers unlock like more premium experiences, like exclusive access to certain installations or
Right.
VR adventures. And those can go up to like a few $100s depending on what you pick.
So it's kind of like choosing your own adventure, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of adventure, the event listings you sent are insane. We've got everything here from a super plastic launch to a night market, electronic music festivals, even a family rave.
Wow.
I mean, really, something for everyone.
Yeah, and that really speaks to their whole approach, right? They're casting a wide net, trying to appeal to all sorts of different interests and, demographics.
But I mean, doesn't that risk spreading themselves too thin?
Right.
I mean, can they really keep up a high level of quality across such a wide range of offerings?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a pretty bold strategy, and it'll be really interesting to see if they can actually pull it off. But, I mean, they've definitely gotten a lot of positive attention already. They were even named the most visited attraction in the U.S., and, I mean, that's no small feat.
Most visited attraction, that's huge. And it's not just attendance, like they're winning awards for innovation and immersion,
Yeah.
which really goes back to like that core concept we've been talking about.
Exactly.
But some of the reviews you sent use phrases like oddball collection of offerings and part social commentary, part storytelling, part WTF. How do we square that with all the praise?
I think that's actually where the real intrigue is,
Okay.
Area 15 is intentionally like pushing boundaries and challenging norms and embracing the unexpected. It's not your typical predictable entertainment experience. It's designed to provoke and surprise and maybe even make you question what you thought you knew about, like entertainment itself.
So basically, if you're looking for a safe and predictable experience, Air A15 might not be your thing. But if you're ready to embrace the bizarre and the unexpected and, potentially mind-blowing,
Yeah.
well, this could be like your wonderland.
Exactly, and that's what makes this deep dive so fascinating. Area 15 is like a microcosm of the trends shaping the future of entertainment. That desire for immersive experiences, the blurring of lines between art and technology, and the constant need for novelty and reinvention.
We've got a lot more to uncover here, so let's take a quick break and come back for part 2, where we'll really dive into some of the specific experiences you might have at AREA 15. Stay with us. All right, so we've laid the groundwork. Area15. It's this immersive, boundary-pushing entertainment district. But now let's get down to brass tacks. What can you actually expect to see and do there? You mentioned a super plastic launch in your notes, and honestly, that one went right over my head.
Oh, yeah. Super Plastic is interesting. They create these limited edition designer toys and virtual influencers that have gotten a massive following online. Like a mix of art and hype and internet culture that's really blown up recently.
Okay.
Their installation at Area15 is called the Dopamine Institute for Pleasure Research.
Dopamine Institute for Pleasure Research. Okay, yeah, that'll get your attention.
Yeah.
And it really plays into this idea of Area 15 as like a playground for adults.
Yeah.
But with an edge, right? Not your average theme park.
Right, exactly. It's like they're taking, these familiar concepts, art, toys, entertainment, and they're filtering it through this lens of irony and subversion.
Yeah.
It makes you question your assumptions.
Right.
And keeps you on your toes.
So I'm getting this feeling that surprise is like a key part of the Area 15 experience.
Oh, for sure.
Now, you also sent over info on a Las Vegas Exchange night market.
Oh, yeah.
Happening on March 2nd. That seems like a completely different vibe than the super plastic world.
Oh, absolutely. And, that's what's so cool about Area 15, right? It's not a one-trick pony. The night market brings in local vendors and, vintage finds and streetwear.
Oh, nice.
It's totally different energy, and it taps into this trend of, curated shopping experiences.
So it's not just permanent installations.
Right.
They're bringing in these events and pop-ups, things that keep the experience fresh and evolving.
Yeah.
Is that key to their success, do you think? We talked about them being the most visited attraction.
Right.
Is it because there's always something new to discover?
I think that's a big part of it. In a city like Vegas, which thrives on constant novelty and reinvention,
Yeah.
Area 15 has managed to create a destination that feels like both cutting edge and constantly evolving. It just keeps people coming back for more.
Makes sense. Okay, let's switch gears to the music scene. I see listings for what? So not Gareth Emery, even a family rave?
Yeah, a lot going on.
That's quite a range, musically speaking. Are they just trying to cater to every taste?
Right.
Or is there something more to it?
Well, the music itself is only one part of the experience. The venue they use for a lot of these events, the Portal, is a 360-degree projection mapped space. It's not just about listening to the music. It's about being enveloped by it, both visually and sonically.
So it's about elevating the whole concert experience, making it truly immersive.
Yeah.
Which seems to be a theme with everything Area 15 does.
For sure.
So they're not just throwing any old concert in there.
Right.
They're curating experiences that you wouldn't be able to get anywhere else.
Yeah, exactly. It's about creating that wow factor, which is probably a big draw for their target audience.
Okay, so far we've got high concept art,
Yeah.
a night market, cutting edge music events. Anything else we should hit on? You mentioned that Area 15 promises a day's worth of fun on their website.
Right. If you check out the site, they've got categories for alternate reality, explore, play, even wellness. There's just a lot to unpack.
It is a little overwhelming even just looking at the website, to be honest. And that's where the experience pass we talked about comes in.
Yeah.
Would you recommend some pre-planning for someone visiting Area 15?
Oh, definitely.
It seems like a place where you could easily get lost.
Yeah.
In a good way, but lost nonetheless.
Oh, absolutely. With so much to see and do, a little strategizing goes a long way. Figure out what interests you the most. Do you want to focus on the art installations or, virtual reality experiences or something else entirely? Decide on a budget.
Right.
Check out the different tiers of the experience pass and see what fits.
So think of it like, choosing your own adventure.
Yeah.
You've got a map,
The
website, the experience pass options,
right.
And you get to decide what path you take.
Exactly. And that sense of choice and agency just adds another layer to the whole ARE15 experience. You're not just passively consuming entertainment. You're actively shaping your own journey.
Speaking of choice, I'm curious about the wellness category. Seems a bit out of place with this whole idea of sensory overload.
Yeah.
What kind of wellness activities can you even have in a place that's, all about pushing boundaries and intense experiences?
That's a good question. And it speaks to ARE15's embrace of contrasts and contradictions.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how they balance the high energy experiences with moments of calm and rejuvenation. Maybe there's a tranquil oasis hidden amidst all the chaos, a place to find your zen after a mind-bending VR trip.
Right, maybe a sensory deprivation tank after all that sensory overload. I'm starting to sense a theme here. It's like they're creating a microcosm of the modern world,
Right.
a place where, all these different trends and subcultures can collide and coexist.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that juxtaposition is what makes Area 15 so fascinating. It reflects, like, the complexities of modern life.
Right.
Our desire for stimulation and escape, our need for connection and solitude. It's a lot to process.
It is. And I love that they're embracing those contradictions rather than trying to, smooth them over. Before we move on, I want to touch on something I saw on the website, the Give the Gift of Wow section. They offer Area15 gift cards that can be used at all their attractions and shops and restaurants. What do you make of that?
That's smart. It plays into this idea of Area 15 as a destination, not just a one-time event, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can give someone the gift of exploration, letting them discover their own personal highlights within this immersive world.
It's like giving the gift of a choose-your-own-adventure story, but set in this fantastical, ever-evolving playground for adults.
Exactly. And that sense of, like, discovery and personalization is, I think, a key part of Area 15's appeal.
Okay, I think we've covered a good amount of ground here. We've talked about the variety of experiences, the value of planning ahead, and even the potential for these unexpected contrasts.
We've definitely given you a taste of what awaits at Area 15, but the real magic is experiencing it firsthand.
Well said. Now, in part 3, let's zoom out and look at the big picture. What does Area 15's success tell us about the future of entertainment and, the changing landscape of Las Vegas? Stay tuned. So, we've really unpacked the what and the how of Area 15, the attractions, the vibe, the sensory overload, the whole thing.
Right.
Now, let's kind of zoom out a little. Look at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
What does Area 15's success and all this buzz around it tell us about the future of entertainment in general?
Well, I think what's really interesting is that Area 15's popularity shows, like, a real shift in what people want out of entertainment.
Okay.
It's not enough to just, like, sit back and watch anymore.
Right.
People want to be active participants, to be immersed in the experience, and they want to share that experience with others.
Yeah, that's like the lines are getting blurry between the audience and the performer.
Totally.
You're not just watching a show, you're part of it.
Exactly.
You're creating content, you're becoming part of the story.
And that desire for, like, unique, shareable experiences, I think that's only going to grow. And Area 15 is, like, tapping into that. And it's working. And I think we're going to see more of this.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if immersive entertainment districts start popping up in cities all over the world.
Oh, imagine that. Like
Right.
a global network of Area 15s.
Yeah.
Each one with its own little twist, catering to different subcultures and art forms. That would be wild.
It would be a huge challenge to the, like, old school model of entertainment.
Yeah.
It would push the boundaries of what's possible and change how we experience and interact with, like, art, technology, and even each other.
And speaking of changing things up, it's interesting to see how Area 15 is changing Vegas itself, right?
Yeah.
Vegas has always been about spectacle and entertainment, but this feels different somehow.
It is, yeah. Traditionally, Vegas has always been about the casinos, the shows, the whole lure of winning big.
Right.
Area 15 offers a different type of escape. One that's less about luck and more about, like, exploration, self-discovery, and creative expression.
It's like they're saying, come to Vegas to find yourself, not lose yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a subtle but powerful shift.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it seems to be resonating, especially with a younger crowd who are looking for, like, authentic experiences and meaningful connections,
Right.
They want more than just the typical tourist traps.
So Area 15 isn't just shaping entertainment, it's shaping Vegas, attracting a whole new kind of visitor and, like, showing what else the city has to offer.
For sure.
But the question is, can they keep this up?
Right. That's the big question.
Yeah.
They've set the bar really high, and expectations are through the roof. To stay on top, they'll have to keep innovating, keep adapting, and keep delivering those wow moments that get people excited and coming back for more.
And what about technology? Where does that fit in? We talked about VR and immersive installations.
Right.
Like, what's next?
That's actually a great question for you, the listener.
Oh, I like that.
To think about as you explore this whole world. What role will AI, augmented reality, all those emerging technologies play in shaping immersive entertainment?
Yeah, imagine stepping into a world where the lines between, like, the real and the digital completely disappear.
Yeah.
Creating these totally mind-bending experiences that blur the lines of reality itself.
Yeah, it's a really exciting time to be like into entertainment, and I, for one, can't wait to see what happens next.
Me neither. And that, my friends, brings our deep dive into Area 15 to a close. We've talked about the attractions, the vibe, what it all means for the future of entertainment, and hopefully now you've got a better grasp of what this place is all about.
Whether you end up visiting Area 15 or not, one thing's for sure, it's a really interesting evolution in how we think about and experience entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds us that the limits are constantly being pushed and that the future of fun, well, it's really only limited by our imagination.
So true. Who knows, maybe your next deep dive will be inspired by an experience you have at Area 15. Until then, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep searching for those moments of wonder. Thanks for joining us.